Welcome back to Cask 529, everyone. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Shona.
And I'm setting Shona up with a blind tasting today. All right, Shona, are you ready for a blind?
I am, because I see that you have all double oaks here for me.
I have.
So this is a good surprise blind compared to what you normally do.
It is. I didn't put anything up there that I knew you didn't like.
Nope.
So just to let everybody know, about 5 months ago, roughly 6 months, 5-6 months ago, I did this to Shona. And I did 3 double oaks. That blind included her supposed favorite Woodford double oak, which you don't see here. The reason for that is that came in last place that day. Do you remember?
I do. I do.
So, also on the bar that day was Whiskey War double oak. Mm-hmm. And what was the third one?
It was the Conviction double oak from North Carolina.
From North Carolina, correct.
Yep.
Okay, so this actually came in first place for her that day.
It did.
The Whiskey War from right up in Columbus, Ohio, which is probably my favorite double oak of everything we have. So what I did, since that took first place, I put it in today's blind. I've included a Peerless double oak and a Bib and Tucker double char. So,
which is a double oak.
pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shona and I did a little bit of research just to fill you guys in. The Whiskey War came in at $69.99. Mm-hmm. The Peerless comes in at $99.99.
Yep.
And the Bib and Tucker came in at $54.99.
Right.
And those are all Ohio prices, so that's what we can go replace them for.
So we have a Tennessee, we have a Kentucky, and we have an Ohio.
Ohio, so they're across the board.
Right. We have an 88 proof.
We have 109 proof.
And we have a 100 proof.
So those again are, there's a little more range there than what we would normally do in a blind. We try to keep things tighter than that, but for today's blind, it's the fact that they're all double oak, or double char in Bib and Tucker's case.
Yep.
So I am prepping for a test tomorrow, so I will not be drinking. Boo.
Kind of not sad about that.
So this is all on Shona today. I am drinking, actually. I'm drinking Sprite.
It's really just the lineys up for my favorite, right? You have to guess which one's which.
So, I mean, if you want to add any information like that, feel free.
Okay.
But more importantly, it was a new lineup of double oaks, and we want to see where Whiskey War, I guess, falls, since it's the champion.
It was the champion the last round, yeah.
To see where it falls with what we've got out here today.
Okay.
Well, hey guys, while she's tasting that, checking that first one out, if you would please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you have not already done that, and drop us a comment.
Okay, in the first one I am getting a little bit of fruit notes along with some obvious char and oak notes, a little bit of vanilla, and a little bit of a tobacco note, but the fruit notes are prominent on this one for me.
Shona's a better person to do this solo. Way better notes. Way more in-depth notes.
Definitely getting the oak, a lot of oak throughout this one. Also picking up the fruit notes. That tobacco note I mentioned, it came through as well. A little bit of spice on the finish. Then followed with some more fruit notes. That was a nice finish on that one. It's kind of drying, but bold spices, but it is a little bit drying.
Is it a drinker or not a drinker? What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Did you rub the number off?
I did. I pulled a mic. It's all good.
Let me fix it, Mike. Just know I'm not going to start putting the charms on here for you.
Okay. A nice pour. Very nice pour. Again, a little bit of that tobacco. A lot of the fruit notes come through. The drying, the oak is throughout. And it finishes with a nice dark fruit note as well with that oak lasting.
So it's fruity.
A lot of dark fruit notes through that one. It's pleasant, very pleasant. I almost feel rushed because it's just me, like, whoo, I gotta get through this.
Don't feel rushed.
Excuse me, guys.
We got all night. The longer this takes you, the less I'll think about the fact that I haven't eaten.
Oh, shoot.
She's really enjoying that.
A lot of caramel and spice on the nose with this one. A little bit oaky. Picking up a little bit of a sweetness. I think it's probably more of a vanilla sweetness than a fruit one. But again, another nice nose. This one's a little bit thinner than number one, but still really good flavors of a nice, really nice line of oak throughout it, a sweet oak with some char on it. Not getting the fruit flavors and stuff as I did on number one, but it's like a nice sweet caramel, vanilla, oak. It's a very pleasant all the way through.
Pretty sure you successfully rubbed that number off too. Or no, you still left it there.
I was watching it. I was watching it. Number two is good. Picking up a little bit of sweetness on the finish this time around, but it's staying consistent. It's thinner, but it has a nice consistent flavor all the way through of oak, a little bit of sweetness. You got some caramels, a little bit of vanilla, maybe a little bit of a fruit note on the finish, and that's how it sweetens up. A little bit of spice throughout as well. It doesn't, like I said, it's just really consistent. It doesn't do the roller coaster of flavors like number one did, but still good. There's no wrong answer, so I don't even know why I'm so nervous at the moment.
It's not a test. It's not like you're getting graded and you're going to fail.
I feel like anytime Bryan's not drinking, like it is a test for me, though.
It's not really. It's not. Just jealous.
Just jealous.
Jealous. That bottle of Whiskey War Double Oak just staring at me out the back window here.
That is one of his favorites. I'm getting some fruity notes on this one as well. A lot of oak scents, but really the fruit notes on this one are really popping through. I may be picking up a little bit of tobacco note on this one as well, but not like number one.
Did you say you are getting fruits on that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you said not as much tobacco as number one as it is fruity as one, because I think you said one was pretty fruity as well.
Mm-hmm. So the tobacco is on the front of the palate on this one with a lot of oak, a lot of char. Rolls into some caramel and vanilla, and it's finishing with a nice fruit note. They're all good. I do not want to take away from any of them, but right now, I love the way that one just kind of changed throughout the palette. This one changed as well. Number 2 was consistent, but we'll go back through, see how they do. But I'm really liking number 3 at the moment.
Is this your back through now, or are you still evaluating that for the first time?
Both, but it's going to be my back through one too.
I'm not getting any oak or any char on my Sprite. It's kind of citrusy.
I just can't. I'm trying to think of my notes here, and then I'm listening to him being silly. Again, the forward note is a tobacco note for me. Getting some brown sugar this time throughout, but the oak, then the caramel, the vanilla, then finishing with a nice fruit note. This one is just a nice, consistent pour, and the fact that when I say consistent, it's a little bit thicker than number 2 was, but it's consistent with that like nice oak and spice note throughout, but then it has like that little roller coaster that goes with it. It's a good pour. I really like it. Okay, back to number 2. Again, all of these have really good noses. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy the nose on all of them. I have nothing to say, but number 2 is a good pour, but it's really thin on the palate. But it's good and it's consistent.
Now, I know that number 1 probably has a little more in the glass yet because you haven't tasted it yet. But from here, just looking across 3 and 2, 2 is a little bit lighter than 3, and obviously lighter than 1, but you haven't had that other drink out of 1 yet. So, but that could be an indication of the lightness. You said it was thin.
Yep. Telling you, the nose on number 1, it's really fun. All kinds of fruity tobacco type notes with some oak in there. It's a nice nose. Still getting that drying throughout on number 1, just as I did the first time through. But yet the notes are there. It's really good. It is probably the creamiest, the thickest pour. And it's really good. However, for me, I have to put number 3 in the first place. Only because it had number 1 does change throughout, and you get different flavor profiles and stuff like that. But it dries out my mouth. It's like very drying.
Right.
Which is okay. I don't mind that. But number 1, or the third one that I moved to the first place, it has those same characteristics where it, it's kind of a little bit of a roller coaster of flavors, but it's sweeter. It doesn't dry out my mouth like number 1 did. So that is why number 3 is going in first place over number 1. So I'm picking number 3 as my number 1, 1 as number 2, and 2 is going to be my third place. These are all good. Not sure which one's which, but you wouldn't go wrong buying any of them. Number 2 is just really thin on the palate, but has good flavor. but it's a consistent flavor throughout.
So do you have, or would you care to take any guesses on what's what?
I'm probably going to get them wrong, but I have had most of these several times. I am going to guess that I put, again, the High Bank in first. I'm going to guess my second place is the Peerless, and I'm going to guess my third place is the Bib and Tucker.
And you nailed it.
I did?
You nailed it.
Woohoo.
First place is the Whiskey War from High Bank. Second place is the Peerless Double Oak. Now, everything you said about that while you were tasting it is everything we have said collectively about that. It's, to me, this drink's more like a double-double.
Like a triple oak.
Yeah,
It's very
this
dry.
thing is really oaky and dry. And then when you said this was thin, I was like, yep, that's exactly right. It's a great pour.
It is. It's good.
There's just not a lot of body to it. It's
Right.
really thin. It's not intriguing. It doesn't grab your attention and say, you know, you want more of me.
Right. So, hey, the Ohio distiller comes in first again.
Yeah, it's a reigning champion. I can't believe that. I don't know. I guess personally, I would like to have done this, even though I knew what they were. I would have liked to have compared them. I'm sure I would have still been as high on that as I am, but it'd been nice to know, you know. I don't know. I may have put this in last because to me that
You do not like that dry.
that dryness, that double that I remember this being, is not appealing to my palate whatsoever.
And when he's saying double, he says it drinks like a double to him because it's so dry.
Exactly.
But it's only a double oak. I don't
is
want any
only a double.
confusion.
And we were really surprised when we got it that it was so dry and so oaky, only being a double oaked. But that's why we do these. That's why we like to blind them. I think blinds are fun. I think it's really fun when only one of us is doing it because the other one gets to kind of enjoy and hear what's being said. And Shona enjoys it when it's just me. I know she does. Although she's usually still drinking.
I am.
But anyway, with that being said, I think that's all we have. Again, the High Bank Whiskey War from High Bank is the number one, and Shona made that vote both times. So
Yeah, so right now that is the reigning champion for my double oak pleasure.
here at this bar, anyway. So I think I'd like to say thanks for joining us, and until next time, be safe, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.